Hi friends, it's Toddy and I. If you don't already follow us on Instagram, you can find me at Aveda Brenda and you can find Toddy at Toddy the Educator. So today's topic is all around thinning hair. So we're going to start off with some of the facts around thinning hair. So first we have the hair loss and hair thinning industry is more than just regrowth. So a lot of systems that are out there just help the hair grow. It's also estimated that Americans spend $3.5 billion on hair loss and hair thinning solutions. While we often think of men, women commonly experience it. In fact, 40% of those experiencing hair loss or hair thinning are expected to be women. And there are many different reasons why women experience hair loss. So let's talk about what some of those are. First, it's genetic. Next is aging, unfortunately, as the time goes on. The diameter of our hair starts to shrink, the amount of strands that come out of each follicle decreases. Diet or stress can also impact our hair and our scalp. Hormonal imbalances, styling can actually cause hair loss. Traction alopecia, that's more around like if somebody's pulling their hair really tight, that can also happen from different styles that guests could wear their hair in. And then of course, we know other medical conditions. So what do we have at Aveda that is our thinning hair solution, Toddy?
Invati Advanced. Let's talk about it. Okay, Brenda, this is our fam. We love this family. So I want to share with you some of the key things we want to be sharing with our guests around Invati Advanced. So first bullet point, it's 94% naturally derived. Incredible. It's also formulated to keep the hair that you have for longer. So Brenda, you mentioned that, thinning is not just about regrowth, it's keeping the hair that we have. And what we know through many, many years of research, that Invati Advanced reduces hair loss, write this down, by 53% after using for just 12 weeks. 53% reduction of hair loss, you guys. That's huge. How does it work? Well, there's a really cool blend of ingredients. These are Ayurvedic herbs that we're using. Ginseng, you've probably heard of, that's in the system. Turmeric, really good for the system, really good for the scalp, also in this product. And then what I love about this line, I would say even more than that striking benefit of 53% reduction of hair loss, is that there's instant gratification with an Invati. So that's that last bullet point. There's certified organic amla, and it instantly thickens the hair. It swells each strand. So not only is the guest over time going to see results, they're going to see results immediately. Pretty cool, right, Brenda?
Pretty cool. So Toddy, it looks like there's some new products that are part of this line.
I see some new family members who were just brought in. Let's talk about them.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a light and a rich, so two different options for shampoo. So now customizable, on trend with everything else that we have at Aveda, including our hair color. There's going to be a daily conditioner. And then we also have an intensive hair and scalp mask now. We'll tell you kind of who it's for. And then we have the scalp revitalizer. So Toddy mentioned some of those active ingredients. So the amla is really going to give us, it's an Indian gooseberry. It's going to give us that instant thickness. It's also in our thickening tonic. So that would be a really great styling product to recommend to your guest along with the system. In the shampoo specifically, there is wintergreen derived salicylic acid. It's also in some of the ingredients in the scalp revitalizer. Salicylic acid really helps to exfoliate. So it's a gentle exfoliation and it is naturally derived. And then we also have turmeric. So Toddy mentioned that it's good for ingestion. It is an anti-inflammatory. It has a lot of really great benefits. So these are three of our really active ingredients that are in Invati, which make it so powerful and really on that Ayurvedic mission that we are on. Now, you may be asking what's the difference between light and rich. Now, the Invati Advanced shampoo that has been out for quite some time is now renamed rich. And then we have a light formula. What we looked is consumer feedback on what guests were looking for. Some guests felt like the one that we have now, that is the artist formerly now known as Rich, is that some guests thought it was a little bit too thick for them and that it weighed their hair down. So we created a light. So our light is going to be ideal for guests with fine thinning hair. And we're looking at scalp here because we know that scalp thinning is actually it is considered to be a scalp condition, thinning, but we're taking it a step further. We're saying a guest with a normal to oily scalp would be using that light option. Then for medium to coarse hair or thick hair, we're going to recommend normal to dry scalp. We're going to recommend our Rich. Now, the difference between light and Rich is one, the light is a high lather, so a lot of lacy bubbles. The Rich is actually a low lather. And I want to call out that the light is sulfate free. Doesn't say that on here, but I want you to make a note that the light is sulfate free. Now, the Rich has 10 times more conditioning agents in it for that nourishment. And the feel and look of the hair is going to be very different from light to deep. So let's just say that you have a guest who's been using Invati Advanced, maybe since it came out. They're very happy with the results. They don't have to switch. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But perhaps when they're in for their visit, if they expressed interest in wanting a little bit lighter of a shampoo or you want them to try it, they absolutely could. Same benefits, just different formula, and gives you that customized option. Now, the catalyst to this whole line is the Scalp Revitalizer. So we want to make sure in our education with our guests that we are explaining to them that they want to use this every single day, even on their non-shampoo days. How many sprays, Toddy?
16.
16 sprays is one application. So they just spray it into their scalp and then massage it in. So we consider this to be a daily leave-in treatment that reduces hair loss to keep the hair that you have on your head longer. It penetrates to help support the hair's natural keratin and instantly thickens the hair right at the root. So I don't know about you, but on second day hair, my hair falls flat. So because it has that omelet in it, it gives that thickening. And also too, just like styling your hair, when you're lifting it up, it's also helping to give you some volume at the same time. Okay, so this chart, feel free to take a snapshot of it, but this gives you, so we are still system recommending when we are offering this solution to our guests. So we still always want to recommend a 3-piece system: shampoo, conditioner, and then the Scalp Revitalizer. So what you will notice on here is that it's very prescriptive. For a guest with fine hair, oily to normal, their system would be the light shampoo, the thickening conditioner. Maybe they could use the intensive hair and scalp mask in place of their conditioner, and then they always want to use the Scalp Revitalizer. For a guest with medium diameter hair, normal to dry scalp, it would be the Rich shampoo, the thickening conditioner, and they could alternate in the intensive hair and scalp mask and then use the Scalp Revitalizer. For a guest with thick, normal to dry scalp, it would be the exfoliating shampoo Rich. And then in place of a conditioner or a daily conditioner, we recommend that they use the intensive hair and scalp mask because it's going to give them that hydration that their hair and their scalp needs. And then of course the Invati Scalp Revitalizer. Now, a really big call out that I want to make, which is, I always get a lot of like, wow, I didn't know that. We want to make sure whether it is the thickening conditioner or the intensive hair and scalp mask, both are designed to go on the hair and the scalp. If you see a promo video that's on Instagram, it actually has the scalp, hair and scalp mask being put on the scalp. Think about this line is, we're treating the scalp and the hair. So we're treating the scalp to keep the hair that you have on longer. And then we're also hydrating and making the hair stronger from roots to ends, or roots to ends, however you want to say it. So again, very customizable based on who our guest is and what their needs are in our system recommendation.
Now, Brenda, say the guest says, all right, cool. How long should I leave this mask on?
2 to 5 minutes. That's it. 2 to 5 minutes, and then just rinse it out. And Toddy, I love that you asked that question because a lot of times our guests will use a conditioner and then layer their condition or their treatment on top of it. So we always want to recommend to our guests when they would use the products. So make sure that you explain that to your guests, especially if they're not used to using a mask. It's one really big call out that I would make with guests, just so that they're not improperly using the product. A lot of times when guests are not satisfied with a product, it's because they're not using it all the time. And our pro tip for the Scalp Revitalizer is, because you're using it every single day, just leave it next to your toothbrush. Hopefully your shampoo, or hopefully you're brushing your teeth at least once a day, right? And then massaging it in. Now, there is also a professional salon treatment for guests who are experiencing thinning and hair loss. There's protocols that is on Aveda Pure Pro that you can watch, but it's a very luxurious experience for the guests. Allows for us to treat them, but also it's helping with that microcirculation, which also helps the blood flow. Invati treatment for thicker, fuller hair. And on Pure Pro, there's also some color techniques that you can give the appearance of thicker hair. All right, Toddy, what about the consultation now?
Okay, so here's the thing, Brenda. Earlier, you were mentioning that we often think about thinning when it comes to men, but really 40% of women are going to experience thinning in their life. And what this comes down to is we have to be the ones who are asking those questions, uncovering, because this can be a sensitive topic. Unfortunately, it is still a bit on the taboo side of life. So Brenda, how do we make this conversation easy and comfortable and safe for our guests?
Here are some options, Toddy.
Love it. Take us through them, my friend.
Okay. So the first one that we have as a option would be, describe any changes that you've noticed in your hair's texture, or describe any changes in your hair or your scalp since I saw you last, especially if it's a repeat guest. Now, the next question is, have you noticed any extra hair in your brush? So I'll let you in on a little secret about Brenda, is that I only brush my hair, and I actually detangle it with a wide tooth comb on my wash days. So I don't really brush my hair. So if you asked me that question, I would just automatically say no. But where I do notice hair loss is in my shower drain. So remember, when you're asking questions, you want to be able to set yourself up for success with really understanding. So I might add on to this one, have you noticed any extra hair in your brush or in your shower, or like any shedding that's happening? Because this is really what we're trying to determine here. Next one, you can kind of lump those two together so that it's not like so much of a yes or no, but like just lump them together. And then this one here is, have you noticed any changes in your hairline or the size of your ponytail? So this might be for a guest that you maybe haven't seen. Maybe it's for like a new guest that you're seeing for the first time. You can even be specific with like date, like in the past year, have you noticed any changes in the thickness of your ponytail?
And Brenda, I love that question personally, because I find that it's a safe question. And if a guest has a 4-inch ponytail, maybe last year they had a 5-inch ponytail.
Can't assume, right?
Right. Like, it doesn't fall on us to be the judge, but rather to get curious and understand what changes have happened.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So Toddy, this leads us into how we flex our professional muscle. So why is it important for us to perform a scalp analysis?
So Brenda, not only is it important for us to do that as designers, as hair artists, to understand the scalp, the hair, how it's doing, equally as important, we have to introduce this as a conversation starter with our guests, teaching them how to discover their own scalp. So, we check, is it dry, right? Is there excess sebum? Is there something medical going on? Yes, and let's teach them how to do it. So Brenda, will you walk us through how we can teach our guests around the scalp analysis?
Yeah, so first thing that you can do is, however your guest naturally parts their hair, you can have them check there first. So what you can have them do is just run their thumb over the part line. Now what you're going to notice is maybe there's small flaking, which would indicate some dryness. Maybe there's some big flaking, which would indicate dandruff. Maybe there's a little bit of oil slip. Oftentimes, whenever I'm analyzing the scalp, if I forgot in my consultation to ask when was the last time you shampooed your hair, or how often do you shampoo your hair? Because if your guest just shampooed and their hair is dry or oily, that might help us to determine maybe we need to do Pramasana and potentially something like Invati. So that's one place that you can look. You can also look like in the back of the neck, and also a really great indication is the back of the ear. A lot of times our guests get into the shower and they do this and then they rinse it. So all of these other areas really get left out. So I think here you're really intentionally looking and scanning over the guest's scalp and letting them know what you see as you see it. And even you can ask some clarifying questions as you're looking through their scalp as well. So what might it sound like if we're going to recommend a service or a product recommendation?
Well, I think we ought to use our solutions formula to make it easy for us and consistent with each and every guest. So thank you for pulling up this slide, Brenda. Now, you probably have seen this. If you haven't seen this before, you guys, take a screenshot of this. This is a super simple system for recommending both professional services and home care. So, okay, so Brenda, I'm going to give it a try. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Brenda, because you mentioned that you are noticing a little bit more hair in the shower and that your ponytail is a bit smaller since the last time I saw you, I'm going to recommend and get you started on our Invati system. Now we're going to do a little something special here in the salon today, and I'm going to recommend that you take home our 3-part system. Now, let me tell you what it does. So when you take home this 3-part system, it is going to reduce hair loss by 53%, Brenda, 53% in just 12 weeks. Plus, I know you like instant gratification. Girl, me too. It instantly thickens the look and the feel of your hair. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing, because thicker, fuller hair is everything that I want. Beautiful, Tani. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I practiced before we came.
Practice makes progress, right?
Practice makes progress. So, essentially what we did is we started with something that Brenda shared. So I say, you can't say because you said if Brenda didn't say anything. So again, we have to start with that consultation. And then we move into recommending. Now, what I didn't say was, I think it might work. Or maybe you want to try. Use your expertise, my friends. I recommend. Folks love that affirmative language. Then lastly, I bring it back to what Brenda wants. She wants healthy, thick, full hair. So I make sure to bring that, her future perfect, which will bring you fuller, healthier hair.
Love it. And I love how in the beginning, well, in the middle, you said, like, I recommend the Invati system, because you don't want to at the end overwhelm the guest with all of the options, right? You're already introducing them to the system, and you don't have to go into all of the product application and all of that now. You can organically sprinkle it into their experience for today. Now, one call out I want to have is that the Invati Advanced treatment cannot be done the same day as hair color. So perhaps this could be something that you offer to your guests in a future appointment. Maybe they can split up their haircut and their hair color, or maybe they can come in for a special treatment on a different day.
Yeah. Great call out, Brenda.
Okay, so now with the expansion of Invati Advanced, we now can give our guests really those customized, high-performing results to keep the hair that they have on their head longer. So Tati and I want to know what your takeaways were from our session today. If you have any questions, you can hit us up on Instagram, and we look forward to seeing you at a future session. Bye, friends.
Bye.